Hey swimmers, I'm Coach Mandy, and come with me as I share a look back at my journey of swimming well into my second trimester. Now, if you're watching this and you're wondering how I get all this hair into a cap, you always want to start with the center seam right at your forehead, gently place the cap on, and take sections of your hair and tuck them in from the corners. This helps you line up the cap evenly and avoiding pulling your hair and making it uncomfortable when you're swimming. The key is to eliminate as much distraction as possible when you're practicing. After I tuck in the last few strands of hair, I make sure that my cap is fitted correctly, and I get my goggles prepped and make sure that my lenses are clean before I get started. Now, another quick tip when wearing goggles, be sure to keep your straps nice and high right above your ear line and you won't have any problems getting leaks. Today, I took an IM workout using the Endless Pool. If you're watching this and you're considering adding swimming to your fitness routine during pregnancy, or if you're already swimming and you're curious about how it feels, I can't recommend it enough. It's incredibly beneficial and makes me feel more normal than ever. So let's dive into how the practice went, what I worked on, and some quick tips I picked up along the way. So I did things a little bit differently this day. I started to warm up with breaststroke at a nice, easy tempo, just working on form and wanting to feel more fluid with my breathing, staying low, and also feeling the lengthening from my back as I complete the breath. You can see here that I'm sliding my shoulders forward, which is that lengthening piece that I want to feel not only during the breath, but also as I complete and finish the breath. This helps me feel more streamlined, also helps me level out. And as a part of my warm-up, I consider it a dynamic piece to help me feel that mind-body connection. So really my objective with every stroke for breaststroke during my warm-up is to feel more connection from my hips and feel the overall flow of the stroke moving forward without any interruption. It feels very smooth, relaxed until I transition into my backstroke. Again, an easy tempo, really feeling my rotation and also keeping my head pretty still, because when using the Endless Pool, you can really feel a difference if you drift left or right. So this helps you maintain that nice still head position. So here I'm just sculling, getting in position to practice some butterfly. Again, nice and easy. Really just feeling every time I finish a breath or finish the stroke itself that I lengthen my body forward and just feel my overall tempo connecting at a slower rate. And then I go back into backstroke, feeling again that rotation and keeping my head still. Just overall what points that I feel that I need to work on as my warm-up, and those are usually my go-tos when I'm swimming backstroke. So as I mentioned before, I like to feel no interruption on my rotation and also practice the transition from backstroke to breaststroke, as that will be a part of my IM sets when using the Endless Pool. So again, with every stroke, I just feel more and more glide, more and more connection with every stroke in real time. So I like to make small corrections moving forward, even in my freestyle. If I feel that there's a stroke that feels a little off in my breathing, then I make sure that I correct that moving forward by taking an earlier breath. That's usually my go-to to help me self-correct, because not every stroke is going to be perfect. You learn how to correct in real time as you move forward and as you swim farther. So after I've warmed up for about 15 to 20 minutes, I go right into my main sets, which are 100 IMs. And you can see here that I'm basically doing about 10 strokes for butterfly, working on keeping my head low for breathing until I transition quickly to backstroke, where I do about 15 strokes or so. Again, keeping my head still, as I mentioned earlier in my warm-up, and making sure my rotation is flowing forward without interruption. Once I've counted about 15 strokes or so, I go ahead and rotate into kind of like an open turn from backstroke into breaststroke and focus on that fluid breath, low, feeling that sliding forward, that lengthening from my back on the finish of the breath as well as mid-breath. And you can see that I'm breathing within that pocket, and then I transition into my freestyle. Keeping my breath low from my breathing, feeling that pocket or that bow wave, and not having any interruption with my breathing. And if I do have a slight error, I make sure I correct with an early and quick breath. So to recap on my workout, I warmed up for about 15 to 20 minutes, working on form, making sure I had that mind-body connection, followed by my main set, which was 10 by 100 IMs, as you've seen here, focusing on those technique points, making sure they were solidified throughout my workout. And of course, I followed up with a nice cool down before getting out of the water. Alright swimmers, I hope you found this video inspirational and it's something that you want to add to your own workouts, whether you're on the same journey as me or something different. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to stay up to date for new and exciting content weekly. Alright swimmers, enjoy your practice and I will see you all next week.